Good morning and welcome to EduTap. The scheme that we are covering today, it is the Gobardhan scheme, and it has a full form which is galvanizing organic bioagro resources dhan. Okay, so here basically we are going to utilize the bio waste that is generated in the rural area. Okay, here we are not just targeting the waste that is generated in agriculture, but yes, it will also be utilized along with the other waste that is generated. Okay, so we will study about it, right? Because it was recently in news, and it was asked by you also, one of you also, for me to make a video on it, so we are doing that today. So recently what happened, so there was, what is CBG? It is compressed bio gas. Okay, so there was a review progress that has happened. You would understand more about it. First we will understand like what about the scheme, but before that is an announcement for all the aspirants who are preparing for central regulatory bodies. We have come up with one-stop solution guide to all the queries that you must be having regarding the organization you want to join. For example, if you want to know more about RBI, NABARD, SEBI, then all the detailed information has been mentioned all along with the recruitment process. So how many phases are there? What is the pattern of each phase? What is the difficulty level of the examination? How you can analyze that by looking at the previous year cutoff. Syllabus has also been mentioned so that you can cover the topics which are more likely to be asked in the examination. And at the end, we have given some steps that you can follow on your own, especially if you're going for self preparation. That will definitely help you kickstart your preparation journey. So do not miss the opportunity. You can download these e-guidebooks which are free of cost from the link that is provided in the description box below. Okay, chalo, now let's talk about this particular scheme, which is Gobardhan. It has a full form. Okay, so Gobardhan is a full form. Dhan in itself, it means wealth, right? So if somebody is having dhan, we call it he's having money, he's having wealth, right? So here we are, the government, they aim to create the wealth out of what? Out of the wastage that is generated from the in the rural areas. Okay, and especially when we talk about rural areas, so definitely agro waste, it is generated a lot, right? So we have to do what? A government will do what? They will galvanize. Basically, they would channelize, they would create something out of the waste that is created organically in the rural community. Okay, so galvanizing organic bioagro resources dhan. Okay, so government will create some bioagro resources wealth, okay, out of the waste that is generated. This is the basic idea. So what will be done for that? Let's understand the process behind it. How can this organic waste can be converted into the something very useful, right? Dekho, we have to do this, or the government is doing this for the two major reasons. First of all, ultimately they are waste and they are organic waste, so definitely they would decompose, right? A lot of flies, something which is decomposing, you must have observed a lot of flies, insects, pests, they feed on it, a lot of microbes that are created on it, which are the you can say the breeding hub for the diseases, right? So first of all, these when they are in the process of this decomposition, they pollute the environment, right? They are the breeding ground of the diseases. And apart from that, these wastage, they have the potential to create wealth. So on the one hand, they have the potential to create wealth, the wastage, but because we are not utilizing it, so we are getting the loss because of not utilizing, and on the other hand, it is polluting the environment as well. So because of these two reasons, this particular scheme was introduced. And what is the basic idea behind it? Dekho, we are first of all catering all the organic wastage, so the wastage that is generated by the livestock. Okay, so here we are talking about the animals that are domesticated. Here we are talking about the poultry, the cattle, sheep, goat, the ruminants, etc. Okay, pig, whatever that you are rearing, so they generate waste. So that is the organic waste. From crops also waste is generated, because see, for example, if this is a wheat grain, okay, so this is a wheat plant, so here you are going to use the grain only, the rest of the portion, the stubble, it is all wastage only, right? And apart from that, water, it is wasted at home, right? For example, if you are bathing, you are washing utensil, and please imagine like the rural place for this particular regard especially, so there you can imagine like a lot of wastage of water is happens, right? So that gray water is created. Gray water is what? That yes, it is contaminated. It is not good for drinking, but it is not contaminated like to the very higher toxicated in extent. ठीक है, तो वो क्या है, वेस्ट वाटर भी जनरेट होता है, and especially food is eaten at home, other waste that is generated at home, all which are organic. Okay, so what happens if you keep all this organic waste in a anaerobic digester? So digester, to please simply you can imagine, so it's a closed box where you're keeping everything which will digest, which will decompose. Digest means decompose the content, the organic material. But what is anaerobic? So it is made up of two terms. An means no, means it does not have, and aerobic means air. So here we are talking about oxygen. So basically this particular digester, it is oxygen deprived, there is no oxygen, and this stimulates the growth of anaerobic microbes, microorganisms, which help to digest the particular waste material that you have added. Okay, so in the process of decomposition, there are two components that are generated. One is the biogas. So basically when the digestion will begin, one will be the gas that will be generated under this particular system, and another will be the solid part. Okay, that gas can be pretty much utilized as a fuel purpose. We have studied about सतत scheme, ठीक है, under which what is the full form of सतत, कि आपका क्या है, जो अल्टरनेटिव जो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन है उनके लिए अफोर्डेबल ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, सस्टेनेबल अफोर्डेबल ट्रांसपोर्टेशन के लिए ये स्कीम लाई गई है, राइट. सो फॉर दैट यू द concept of biomethane gas that is being used, and here the methane gas is produced. So basically what happens normally, if you look about in your agro waste that is generated, gas that is generated, तो वहाँ पे क्या है, मीथेन काफी ज्यादा रिलीज होती है. अब this methane which is released, this is one of the major this is one of the major greenhouse gas, and if it is released in the environment, that increase and the increased temperature which leads to the global warming. So definitely instead of directly being released into the atmosphere, it can be used as a fuel purpose. So gas can be utilized, and the solid portion which is here digestate, which has been written, it is simply known as slurry. Okay, so solid portion is slurry, the gaseous portion, and then we have a gas portion. Okay, अब this slurry that is created, and then further it get decomposed, and finally it will reach a stage where it can not further be decomposed. It is at the final stage. So here it works as a very good fertilizer. Okay, so as you have seen that here what has happened in the natural environment, first of all देखो, you have to keep in mind, because many of you I know might be thinking that in the natural environment तो also they would digest in a certain time and then they can be utilized. So देखो, first of all in natural environment it is like oxygen which is present, right? So because of that reason, even the microbes that sustain only in the oxygen or aerobic environment, they also feed on these waste, and because of which the diseases that are generated, which we talked about, that is also one of the problem. And there what happens, methane gas, the biogas that is generated, that is directly being exhibited into the atmosphere, which is also undesirable because the methane, it will lead to the global warming. So here what will be done, gas will be separately utilized to convert it to utilize it as a fuel, and the solid when it will be in the final stage, then it can be utilized as fertilizer. ठीक है, इसके अलावा क्या है, जो आपका this fertilizer means this slurry, the digestate, the final form can be used even for the soil amendments. Amendment means, for example, if your soil pH is not good, is not appropriate, for that it can be utilized. If it lacks in certain mineral, it can be utilized for that, all this purpose. ठीक है, amendment purpose के लिए. If the texture of soil is not good, if you mix this digestate, the texture of the soil will increase. ठीक है, and livestock bedding means for livestock also where they live, so there has to be like cushion like surface that has to be provided. पोल्ट्री में स्पेशली यूज होता है, कैटल के केस में भी हो जाता है, बट स्पेशली पोल्ट्री के केस में होता है, देयर इट कैन बी यूज. ठीक है, तो ये इस कंसेप्ट के साथ ये पर्टिकुलर स्कीम आई है. सो व्हाट विल बी डन अंडर द स्कीम, basically first of all they would be made aware about the models that are there, the models that can be generated from the waste that exist in the place. So there are four type of models depending on how many people are engaged or or how many people are willing or volunteer to create the system, this anaerobic digestive system that we have observed, the Gobardhan plant, in the technical term, if you have to say, the Gobardhan plant, depending on from people to people, how many people want to come together to be part of it. On that basis, there are four type of models that exist, and the aim is that only, right, to reduce to curb the pollution, to utilize the wastage into something useful. Okay, launch year है 2018 है, and unlikely, it's very unlikely, the ministry is very unlikely. ठीक है, that is why I am emphasizing on what is the ministry. So Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation is the ministry. I do understand that it is some many of you might think like it's not much linked to the conventional way of understanding the scheme comes under which ministry, but here it is Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation. Aim किसके साथ है? To ensure the cleanliness, definitely pollution कम होगा in the villages, and how that will be done, जो bio waste generate होता है इनको resources में convert करना. Objective क्या है? सबसे first of all, again with the same which is the aim also, that is to curb the pollution. So definitely to manage the waste that is generated. Now we are talking about the livestock waste also, we are talking about the agriculture, means जो crop से generate होता है waste also, right? So all these first of all to manage. Then how can it be managed? It can be managed by converting into wealth. Means first of all they would be made aware like how you can utilize the how you can convert the waste that is generated into something useful. ठीक है, by the decentralized system. Means very एकदम basic level में एकदम जो पंचायती जो पंचायत होंगे ना, these panchayats only they have this power. देखो although जो district होगी that will act as a unit, ठीक है, but at the decentralized level पंचायती राज they can, you know, they can approve with the program, approve with the plans, like how it can be implemented in a certain area with the help of NGOs, self help groups, whatever. ठीक है, तो क्या है, convert, पहले तो manage करना, then convert करना, and also to promote environmental sanitation. ठीक है, because when the environmental sanitation is maintained, this help to curb, to prevent the vector borne diseases. Vector borne diseases क्या होती है? देखो usually तो देखो जो आपकी whatever diseases that are that a person they get, it is because of the microorganism, right? But these microorganism, for example, now there is a microorganism which is like 5 feet ahead of me, right? Now it cannot just like crawl on its own and come to me, right? So what happens, there is a mediator which is known as vector. ठीक है, मीन्स वेक्टर ये आपके जो वायरसेस ये सब होते हैं. ठीक है, तो आपका क्या होता है, जैसे मान लो फ्लाइज है, बोलते हैं ना मक्खी जब बैठ जाए, राइट, फ्लाइज शुड नॉट सिट ऑन योर फूड बिकॉज दे आर द कैरियर ऑफ द डिजीजेस. ठीक है, तो वेक्टर आपके क्या हो गए, ये सब जो भी डिजीज जो माइक्रोब्स हो गए, बट कैरियर आपका होता है. ठीक है, कैरियर जैसे फ्लाइज होगी, मॉस्किटोज हो गए, एंड नाउ यू कैन इमेजिन दैट if there is a proper, if there is pollution, flies will be there, they could come to you, they can sit on you, they can spread that vector borne diseases, right? To curb that, to prevent that, it is very important to have that awareness. ठीक है, and definitely this fertilizer which is created or biogas that is created, that can be utilized for various purpose. Principles क्या है? First of all, जो भी aggregate means to collect the cattle waste that is generated and to get it converted into biogas, and this biogas can be used even for the domestic purpose and for the industrial purpose. Means for example, देखो, if you want to set up, or for example you just have 3 cattles, right? So definitely you cannot generate enough of biogas to be sold, right? So you can utilize it for domestic purpose, you can utilize it for the fuel, for the gas purpose, for the cooking purpose. ठीक है, तो ये biogas can be utilized, and we are studying since our childhood, since our school days, that how biogas can be utilized for the cooking purpose, right? So definitely this biogas that is generated at the domestic level can also be utilized, and at the industrial purpose can be utilized, depending on like how much waste is generated, because the amount of waste only when if it is small, the output will be smaller, right? And if it is huge, the output will be more, right? And the bio slurry that we've already talked about, biofertilizer की तरह use होगी. तो principle क्या है? Not leaving anything, gas will be utilized, the slurry will be utilized, right? And here the aim will be to actively involve more and more community, because with the same intention, just like, you know, the concept of cooperative societies, you can imagine the concept of Amul, because that was the first cooperative society we had. ठीक है, तो simply क्या है उसमें, that if you individually sell anything or produce anything, you will get lower returns, but if you cumulatively come together and you cumulative sell anything, then you will have more return. Okay, so because now more there will be like higher units that will be willing to buy your product. For example, if Amul, they're coming together, they're selling their milk together, so definitely bigger companies, they are coming forward to buy that milk. Now if I had only one cow, I can target the people around me, and if they are giving me minimal amount for the milk that I'm giving to them, the service that I'm providing to them, I will accept it, because that is something that I'm getting, right? But when you come together, you have more and more opportunities. So aim will be to involve more and more communities, and also the aim will be to make this process, the Gobardhan plant establishment, chain that will be, value chain that will be added, means from the start of from where this particular waste is generated till getting it to the consumer, it has to be economically viable. In no step the expenses should be it should not be in it should not increase as such that the consumer will have, at the end, it will have problem, and this whole system will fail, right? So it has to be economically viable. Why am I saying so? Because see, not necessarily, for example, I live in rural India, I do not have like livestock farm of my own, but I want to found this particular concept to be very interesting, and I want to establish a unit. So I have to buy these waste, right? I have to buy these waste from the farmers that live around me, who are not interested much in establishing their own Gobardhan plants, right? So here it has to be, everything has to be economically viable for all the stakeholders that are involved under this particular system. And ultimately, definitely entrepreneurship को boost मिल सकता है, right? Because see, you can sell the biogas and the biofertilizers and get benefit out of it. ठीक है, benefit क्या क्या होगा इससे? Reduction of the greenhouse gas emission होगा, apart from that boost to entrepreneurship होगा. These are very like understandable thing. There is nothing to explain much, but if you have any confusion, so ये है, ठीक है? ये श्वेतांग, यस जल शक्ति है, ठीक है? देन प्रमोशन ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग है, ठीक है? प्रमोशन ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग है, रिडक्शन, हाउ ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग इज प्रमोटेड, बिकॉज द बायो slurry that was generated, it was rich in nutrients. Reduction of import on crude oils, how? Because see, currently like we are dependent on the non-renewable source of energy, right? And what happens if we are able to generate much and much biogas? Definitely we can replace it with the conventional crude oil that are being used. So that is why if the indigenously we are producing more and more biogas, this will definitely help to reduce the import, the dependency we have on the other countries for the crude oil purpose. ठीक है? Effective biodegradable waste management, definitely the waste that was generated, we are managing that. Employment opportunity for local people, right? So entrepreneurship is one thing, but in that plant, if I require people, so definitely that can provide with the employment opportunities as well. And it can also act as an additional income for the farmers or local village community. For example, I am a farmer, I have a huge farm, I have a lot of like livestock, so enough of waste that is generated, so I can like put up a plant. So this plant will, for me, it will act as an additional source of income. For some people it can be the like fully fledged job, right? The example that I gave you, that the entrepreneurs, they can buy and they can convert it in the plant, and then they can sell it forward, right? Or the other case can be that I, as a farmer, I establish it, I have enough of like space, I have enough of capacity to run this particular Gobardhan plant, so definitely that is also will act as an additional source of income. Now, as I told you, there are 4 major project models, so we are going to look at them one by one. The first one is the individual household models. So here basically देखो model क्या होगा, the first the flow chart that I shown you, the concept will be same only, it's just the difference of the size that will be there, ठीक है? size और थोड़ा बहुत arrangement. But individual household के लिए जो model है, it is adopted by household which have 3 or more cattle, right? At least 3 cattle should be there, because then only like it would be enough of the wastage that will be generated to act as a like workable model, ठीक है? तो 3 or more cattle होंगी, and whatever biogas that is generated, it can be used for cooking purpose. I already told you that biogas can be used for various purpose. And the farmer, because if he is having cattle, right? So if he's doing a little bit of farming also, so definitely that slurry which is generated, it can be used at the individual level to add as a manure into the field, into his field, right? Up now, next model is community. So here now we are talking about more people, we are talking about a community, right? So here this particular model will be constructed for a minimum number of 5 to 10 household. Please keep in mind, here we are talking about 5 to 10 household, so definitely they can have n number of cows. In the first case, there was an individual household, only one house which can have n number of people, but the cattle requirement was minimum 3, maximum can be up to them, but minimum 3 should be there to be part of the individual household project model, right? But for the community, 5 to 10 household should be there, 5 to 10 families should be involved, and the cattle that they have, ठीक है? तो मिनिमम आपका हाउस होल्ड मॉडल है, तो यहाँ पे ऑपरेटेड एंड मैनेज बाय जो आपके जो ग्रुप्स हैं, जो आपके सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप्स हैं, ठीक है, ग्राम पंचायत, जीपी जो ग्राम पंचायत, तो आपके जो ग्रुप्स हैं जो कि साथ मिलके दे कैन कम टुगेदर इन फॉर्म अ सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप, जो आपकी ग्राम पंचायत है, दे कैन ऑपरेट इट, ठीक है? अब गैस, बिकॉज यू कैन इमेजिन दैट 5 to 10 household have now come together, so definitely comparatively more output is being produced, right? So in the first case where we see that the biogas was very less in amount, and that can use for like the individual cooking purpose. However, that is also beneficial, because then the farmer would not have to spend money on, you know, the well, maybe LPGs or other cylinders, right? So that money is saved. And if they were initially dependent on the woods for the purpose of the cooking, we know that how it is harmful, the smoke that is generated, it is very harmful for the people who are sitting nearby it, right? So in first case, the target was cooking at the individual level, but now the gas that is generated, it can be supplied to the household, they can use it a household, there are more, or they can even send to the nearby restaurant as well, for the like biogas can be used for the cooking purpose, or nearby institutions as well. And the slurry, because now in this case more slurry will be produced. So if this community which is part of this community project model, the families that are involved, if they even want to sell it further to in the agriculture field, that is also like the now they have the choice. In the individual household, comparatively the content that was produced, the manure was produced, it was lesser in quantity, so that was sufficient for their own field. But now it is more, so if the community wants to utilize that particular manure in their own field, that is also good thing, they can do so. Or if they just want to sell off, right, to the farmers, then also they can do so, ठीक है? यहाँ पे देखो कोई वैसे रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं दी है कि कितना आपके मिनिमम नंबर ऑफ कैटल से कुछ होनी चाहिए, राइट? सो हेयर जैसे एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की बात चली थी, वो भी हो सकते हैं, ठीक है? नेक्स्ट है आपके क्लस्टर्स। अब क्लस्टर्स में नंबर ऑफ हाउस होल्ड क्या थोड़े बढ़ गए हैं। इंस्टॉल्ड इन नंबर ऑफ हाउस होल्ड इन विलेजेस, ग्रुप ऑफ विलेजेस, वेयर इनिशियल इट वाज 5 to 10 criteria, now that has been increased, ठीक है? बायोगैस definitely can be used in household purpose, slurry can be used as biofertilizers, ठीक है? Next is commercial. Now we are talking about the bigger level, so that can be established by entrepreneurs. We have goshalas which have like hundreds of cows, so that waste can be utilized. Cooperative societies, they can come together, ठीक है? Biogas can be sold for the vehicular field, ठीक है, to sold to the countries in the compressed form, ठीक है? Slurry, they can be sold as the organic manure, ठीक है? Biofertilizers to the farmer, they can be sold, utilized, ठीक है? Very simple, सब में same चीज है, but it just, you know, with the number increasing, the selling opportunities they also increase, simple as that, ठीक है? की फीचर्स की बात करें तो कहीं ना कहीं हमको ये स्वच्छ भारत मिशन को भी टारगेट कर रहा है, राइट? वेरी सिंपल थिंग, देयर इज नथिंग टू बी much explained. The things that needed to be explained I've already explained, but still if you have any problem you can ask me, right? But now even if you read it, you would have that general idea. देखो की फीचर्स की बात करें, definitely it is catering to the mission of स्वच्छ भारत mission, because there is also the aim is to have sanitation, ठीक है? And for that reason, ठीक है, for that reason जो solid waste management का एक component है under the phase 2 of स्वच्छ भारत mission, ठीक है, उसके under 50 lakh per district will be provided to set up these biogas plants, right? So what does it mean? It means that other schemes they would be involved, the funds will be utilized, right? इसमें जैसे अभी हम आगे देखेंगे in further like top in the further points we will see that how the agriculture infrastructure fund, under that scheme also you can go and take loan and you will get it in the subsidized rate, right? Because government, the main aim is to this synchronize all the schemes that we have to have the much better output, ठीक है? तो इसके अलावा जो भी आपकी बाकी स्कीम्स है, ठीक है, एग्री रेसिड्यूज जो भी प्रोग्राम्स है उनका कन्वर्जन किया जाएगा, ठीक है, उनको मिलाया जाएगा। एग्जाम्पल जैसे सतत स्कीम के अंदर कोई अगर आपको मिल सके, कोई कोई लेवरेज मिल रहा है, ठीक है, इफ यू गेटिंग एनी लेवरेज अंडर सतत स्कीम यू कैन डेफिनेटली यूटिलाइज दैट. जैसे बात करी थी एनिमल हस्बेंड्री इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट फंड, फॉर दैट गवर्नमेंट प्रोवाइड्स एट वेरी सब्सिडाइज्ड rate, they provide the loan. So definitely farmer or the entrepreneur, they can take loan under it, they can set up the power plant, right? So a conversion of the various schemes is there, ठीक है, can be implemented by gram panchayat as I said before, with the help of self help groups, ठीक है, आपके FPOs है, community based organization है, under आपका ये जो national rural livelihood mission है, ठीक है, agencies के through they can implement. And village with high population of cattle, definitely they would be kept on priority with the help of the establishment of these biogas plants, because why not, right? Because there the most waste is generated. And as I said before, that even though the gram panchayat, they are going to implement it through the various agencies, but district will act as a nodal agency for the planning, implementation and monitoring, and even for the approval of the Gobardhan projects, ठीक है. ग्राम पंचायत का क्या काम है? आइडेंटिफाइंग द बेनिफिशियरी, बट द अल्टीमेट से विल बी ऑफ द डिस्ट्रिक्ट, ठीक है. एंड यूनिफाइड रजिस्ट्रेशन पोर्टल एक गोवर्धन का बेसिकली बनाया जाएगा, आपकी एक आईडी क्रिएट की जाएगी विच कैन बी यूज्ड पैन इंडिया, ठीक है. तो सिंपल सी चीजें थी. नाउ इफ यू अगेन लुक एट इट, तो अभी क्या है, कंप्रेस्ड बायोगैस. देखो you must have heard, if not seen, that there are two types of cars, one that run on like petrol diesel, one those run on compressed natural gas. You must have observed CNG. This car has CNG, compressed natural gas. So where there what happens, the natural gas, it is compressed in the cylinders, and then it is used as a fuel for the transportation or for the like vehicle, right? Similarly, what will be done, the biogas that is generated, so this is specially the model under the commercial model जो हमारा बना है ना, जो commercial project model है, under that particular one, now this biogas that is generated, now it is in huge quantity, so that will be compressed, okay. So that the CNG, the current form we have, the aim is to getting converted into compressed biogas, because it is a renewable source of energy, and definitely the waste that was generated, it can be converted into the fuel, right? क्योंकि जो CNG है, that is a natural gas, comes out of when the extraction of petroleum happens, so definitely that is non renewable, ठीक है. तो अभी क्या चल रही है, जो CBG ऑपरेटर्स हैं उनके साथ एक मीटिंग हुई थी, राइट, टू अंडरस्टैंड लाइक व्हाट आर द प्रॉब्लम्स दैट आर फेसिंग, व्हाट आर द progress that is happening. And when if you look at this particular news, so there was one particular section that key highlights of the Gobardhan initiative. So there have been some initiatives that have been taken, ठीक है. तो ये आप रीड कर सकते हैं that what is like the current progress that is under the scheme, that can help you out with it, ठीक है. FOM LFOM क्या है, FOM is आपका fermented organic manure, and LFOM है आपका liquid fermented organic manure, ठीक है. तो इसमें बताया गया है कि सपोर्ट, इसमें फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट कुछ कुछ दिए गए हैं, ठीक है. जैसे एक्साइज ड्यूटी एग्जेम्प्ट की है फॉर द CBG ब्लेंड, बिकॉज ऑफ दैट क्या है, डबल टैक्सेशन ना हो, सो दैट इट बिकम्स अफोर्डेबल. इफ इट इज अफोर्डेबल, कंज्यूमर विल बाय इट, राइट. सो सिंपली यू कैन रीड अबाउट इट. It is not as such again something that needs to be explained, but yes, you can, by reading it, you can get an idea like what is the current progress that is happening under this particular scheme. So there's a homework for you all, try to attempt that, and that is all in this particular video. And on that note, I also want to share one more information with you all. So if you open the edutap.co.in website, our website, here in the free material section, we have created some blogs for free for you all, category wise, which you can explore. For example, if you open NABARD Grade A examination, so a lot of blogs we have created, for example, on the topper stock, the strategies of the toppers, you can read about it. You can read about the preparation strategy for individual exam, for different exam. You can understand the difficulty level, like what is the eligibility criteria and all these things. Or if you want to like scroll down and if you want to explore these blogs topic wise, that is also you can do so. If you want to read about exam, job profile, strategy, courses, success story, etc., right? So that is all in this video. Thank you everybody for watching the session. And if you want me to cover any scheme, do let me know. I always say in all the videos, but still I get a lot of emails, right, that I am not covering their scheme. Please, I am covering all one by one. I am prioritizing the one which are more relevant for the syllabus and also which are recently in news, and I will definitely cover. One such is Manrega, is like very asked scheme. The reason I'm not covering Manrega, although I will reply to 2 to 3 mails also, but here also to other people, I'm not covering Manrega as of now, because see, Manrega is comparatively, like, it's more important for the NABARD examination, right? So if I cover it now, and what if after 2 to 3 months there is any update that happened, because I am not going to take it again for a year now. So that is why I'm waiting at least for the NABARD notification. When it comes, then I will start with like day NRLM, your Manrega. These are some very important scheme for NABARD perspective, and I will take it at that particular time, so that whatever be the latest updates that are there, you are aware of those updates only, and that will help you more in the examination, rather than if I cover it today and examination happens after 3 to 4 months. Like, we don't know, it can be any time out now notification or not, right? So and if I cover it today and after like after a month there is some update that happens, that is why I'm waiting for the right moment. So thank you everybody. ठीक है, निश्चल देखो, it can be any time soon, can't say, right? It was supposed to be out by July end only, so it's good that it's, you're having more time to prepare. All in all, I would say, do not wait for the notification to start your preparation. Start your prep, and that will definitely help you contribute. You will get more time for the preparation. Okay, so thank you everybody for watching the video. We'll come again with another video. Until then, all the very best for